Welcome back, everybody, to the GoGamecocks.com College Football Preview Show. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at South Carolina's 2014 schedule. I've talked a lot already about the opener, the Aggies game. I think it's just a huge game. I think it's a game South Carolina wins, but it's a little bit of a trap game to me. A lot of people are saying that they're going to come in here and wear out. The Aggies are going to come in here and get worn out by South Carolina. I'm not sure I see it that way, and it's so important for South Carolina's confidence. Then you go right into East Carolina. You're coming off of a win against Texas A&M, we're all going to kind of assume, but you cannot look past East Carolina. They throw the ball a ton, just like the Aggies do. They don't have as good of guys catching the ball, but they got a bunch of guys who can catch it. If you have one of those little letdowns like you have against Wofford every now and then, East Carolina is a team that could really mess up your Saturday. Then you come into Georgia. We've talked about Georgia. It's a crucial game. It's not the be-all and end-all for me. There's so much work to be done, as South Carolina has proven by not getting that work done in the previous 3 seasons after that Georgia game. You'll really want to beat the Dogs. You'd feel much better if you beat the Dogs. You'd be in good shape. But win or lose, I don't think that game determines your season. For me, look a little further down the road to the Missouri game. That, to me, is a dangerous game for South Carolina. South Carolina's a team that plays 4 SEC East teams and 5 SEC teams before the midpoint of the season. I think by the midpoint of the season, we could know one way or the other how this season's going to go to a really huge degree. Nobody else in the SEC has a schedule even close to that front-loaded with conference games. For me, Missouri, you know they've had that game circled in Columbia, Missouri for a year. Matty Mock, a lot of people really like that kid. I was not hugely impressed when we saw him last year, but he was kind of thrown into the fire there as a true freshman. Now he's got a little more experience. This is his team now. They really think that kid can be a difference maker. We'll see. You clean up that front-loaded part of the schedule with Kentucky. Boy, if you come out of there undefeated, if you're 6-0 at South Carolina, you are sitting really pretty. I'm not sure they're going to be, but that, to me, those first 6 games will tell us so much. They will let you talk some more about further into the season where you've got teams like Auburn, who I'm interested to know what you think about Auburn, because that, for me, is a team that I don't know what they've got. But I think this South Carolina team finishes the season 9-3. What do you think?
That's a good guess, Josh. And, you know, it's always hard to predict these kind of things, especially after the last 3 years. But I certainly agree with you that the first part of the schedule, those first 3 games, A&M, East Carolina, and Georgia, that's kind of going to determine where this season's going to go. Right. After that, it really shapes up nicely. There are no back-to-back road games. It goes home, away, home, away, home, away. You've got a couple of gimme games later on with Furman and South Alabama before you wind it up on the road at Clemson. Now, the games to me that look to be the biggest traps, one, Auburn on October 25th. It's at Auburn. I just don't think that South Carolina's going to win that game. It's a thing. They haven't beaten Auburn since they joined the conference. Even though Auburn does not have Trey Mason anymore, they're going to have Nick Marshall, and you know Gus Malzahn's going to come up with a game plan to do that. It's a very tough place to play. Who knows if South Carolina can go down there and finally break the streak, but you know, even when they've gone down to Auburn, they haven't played that particularly well. And see, this kind of bleeds into my other points at Kentucky and at Vanderbilt. Those are games that South Carolina should win. They should win handily. But those are also places where they have never particularly played well. Nobody needs reminding of the past 2 trips to Kentucky. The last one, okay, they won, but it was after they were basically kicked around for the whole first half. And then 4 years ago, you know, South Carolina programs at an all-time high after beating #1 Alabama. Goes up there, Marcus Lattimore gets hurt at halftime, and they just lay a complete egg and lose that game to the Wildcats. I look at this schedule, and it's going to be difficult. While I can't look and say that one game is going to be a definite loss besides Auburn, I think that this team will repeat the mistakes of the past 3 years, and they'll lose a game that they really don't have any business losing. You think about Auburn in 11 and Florida in 12 and Tennessee last year. You know, those are games that ultimately cost them the East. I think they're going to lose one of those games and end up 10-2. They will beat Clemson, and I think they will win the SEC East some way because I think that they will beat Georgia. So Auburn's going to be a tricky game. I don't know where that other loss is going to come from, but I think it will come. 10-2.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, on the GoGamecocks.com College Football Preview Show. Come back to GoGamecocks.com until the season opener because we've got plenty more for you.